Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel and to another on my 12 movies from 12 friends in 12 months that I'm going to review that I haven't seen before. And the next movie that we're on to is a John Cusack movie called One Crazy Summer. Now this was recommended to me by the lovely Kelly Kinney. She's sister of Shan from Rusting Willpower. She has her own channel, Kelly Kinney. I will link her below in the description. This movie is quite an old one, is it? Let me just go back and look at the year. I've got my IMDb up as my memory's shocking. 1986. Now, this is a movie that I never thought I had seen, but as I watched it, I became aware that I have seen this movie many years ago. But my memory being what it is, I didn't remember anything about it until one particular scene that has stuck in my head right from, and it's still, having watched it again, my favourite scene in the movie. So, this movie is kind of hard for me to explain what it's about because it is kind of all over the place. John Cusack plays a character called Hoops McCann. It's like a buddy sort of road movie like we got a lot of at that time. I didn't know Demi Moore was in this until she popped up, and it's like, oh my god, look how young Demi Moore is. Obviously she's going to be playing the love interest of John Cusack. She's sort of like worldly wise, she can handle herself, she's having a little bit of an issue. I don't want to go into any details about what's happening and what the storyline is in case you want to check it out for yourself. So this is a buddy road movie. It's about a group of young people ganging together to try to achieve something, to try and help this young woman Demi Moore is playing, and in the process of that, John Cusack and Demi Moore's characters fall in love. So it's very much that typical kind of 80s formula that we're all very used to, that we watched a lot of growing up. I know I did anyway. John Cusack, as I say, I'm very much a fan of. Having watched this, I would say more of a fan as he's got older. I will say straight off the bat, I was not a fan of this film. I didn't enjoy it. I think had I seen it and remembered seeing it when I was a teenager, I may feel differently. I think it's one of those movies you really have to watch at the time. I think watching it historically back, there's just so many things you can sort of like pull holes in. It just wasn't really for me. I didn't, as much as I like John Cusack, he was just so not grown into himself. I don't know what way to put it. He was a very young, unconfident. That little quirk that he has about him that I love about him is just not there at that stage. It's not fully, it sounds all kinds of wrong, he's not fully developed, but as a man he's not fully developed. He doesn't, we have people like Michael J. Fox who did Back to the Future, and you can see that spark right from the start. But with John Cusack in this, there's definitely something missing. Demi Moore is, again, you know, movies like Ghost, like G.I. Jane, like, was it Striptease? She's fantastic in. This one, she's just okay, and it's maybe just not my kind of thing. I watched it with my husband, he wasn't that keen either. One thing we both did love and both were very keen on was Bobcat Goldthwait, which is the scene that I remember. If you've seen One Crazy Summer and you remember the scene with him dressed in the Godzilla outfit, that's the one. As I'm watching it, I think I've seen this, I remember this, and I remember laughing hard at it the first time and I laughed hard at it again. I find Bobcat Goldthwait, that's his name, I find him hilarious. I know he's a one-trick pony. I know, if you don't know who that is, he was in the Police Academy movies. He's the one with the really funny voice that just says loads of really weird things.
Not really, I just want them to come running in from the lobby thinking that they missed something. Ha!
And he's in this as very much the same character that doesn't make much sense, that says some very weird things, but he's a really lovable character. He's a character I've always loved, I've always found really funny. He plays one of two brothers in this, and the brothers are hilarious. A lot of the humour in this you would not get away with now because it would be seen as being anti-PC. It would be seen as poking fun at, you know, people that maybe have very low IQs. But it was not done in a nasty way. It's like films like See No Evil, Hear No Evil, which if you know me, you will know is my favourite comedy movie. That's very on PC these days. But I think if you look at the context of the humour and the fact that it is not being used in a cruel way, it's just, we can't really laugh at anything now. We're not allowed to laugh at anything anymore because everything's offensive. But I found this guy hilarious in this movie, and he would be the thumbs up for me about this. Him and his brother's relationship I loved. It was something that really sort of kept me engaged with the movie. As I say, I was disappointed with John Cusack's performance, knowing what he went on to be. Things like Grosse Pointe Blank, High Fidelity would be my favourite John Cusack movie, obviously Identity, but I love that little quirk he got as he got older, which is missing here, which was quite sad. But thanks so much to Kelly for recommending it to me, for me going back and seeing that fantastic Godzilla scene again, because it's so funny. I think I gave this one a 2 out of 5 on IMDb, and that is for Bobcat Goldthwait, definitely. So yeah, another movie ticked off the list, guys. Let me just get it up and tell you what I've still got to review. So I've got Double Dragon. I am not a fan of martial arts movies unless we're talking Jean-Claude Van Damme or like Cobra Kai or Karate Kid or something like that. Not a massive fan. And I think I've only got, I've got the one that Adam recommended, which is a Australian horror that he himself says is absolutely terrible. The cover's really houseboat horror. I've been keeping that because I know it's bad because he told me it's bad. And one recommended by Jason the Old Millennial, which is quite an old one, which is called Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn. So I've got 3 movies on the list still to watch, guys, which I will get on with. I will get done. It's been a disgrace. I'm going to do probably another one of these. What I could do is try and get these finished in June. That's the first 6 months of the year, and then ask you guys for another 6 recommendations for the end of the year. So a few of you gave me bad movies on purpose. A couple of you gave me movies that you actually like that I didn't, where I wasn't too sure. But I have had a couple of really interesting recommendations, a couple of really good ones on there. So it's been a fun experience. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I have a couple of lists coming up from this to get back to. I'm catching up on all kinds today. Thank you so much for watching. Overnight from Lisa Lives.